Jessica said, I was just thinking this morning of looking at more yummy, make ahead and add boiling water kinds of recipes, like oatmeal. I love the ritual of cooking, but sometimes if I'm in a rush, I love the simple ritual of being able to nourish myself with a quick pot of boiled water. Maybe someone has some good recipe ideas to share. Also, breakfast foods. I'm really trying to be better about breakfast. Girl, I am with you. Breakfast is not my jam. I don't like eggs. I don't typically love breakfasty foods. I just don't like eating in the morning. So for me, it's always a stretch. So it has to be something that I'm interested in. It has to be something that tastes good. It just can't be, I'm not the kind of person just to pour a bowl of cereal and be done with it. That's not my jam. So the other thing too with myself, when I'm hungry, I need to eat. There's no lag time. When my body realizes that it's hungry, I have to eat in that moment. So I spend a lot of time on the weekends, for example, prepping a lot of food and making it readily available so that when I am in that space of being ready to eat, it's available for me to eat. So for example, breakfast, you said you wanted a little help on. My big thing for breakfast was, how am I supposed to incorporate vegetables into breakfast? Because I don't like eggs, I don't like omelets, I don't like that whole protein egg thing that's all over Pinterest. Not my thing. So what I do in the morning, and a lot of times I'll prepare this ahead of time, is I'll cut up a bunch of root vegetables. So sweet potato, onion, you can put carrot, you can put fennel, really whatever you have around, radish, any root vegetable, and roast it. I typically roast it with mushrooms as well because that gives more of a meaty flavor in addition to the vegetables. So I'll take a base of that and I'll cook up a big pan so that'll last me probably 3 or 4 days. Depending on who gets it or what I'm using it for specifically. When I'm doing that, typically I will saute spinach in the morning, so just a handful of spinach into the pan and it shrinks down. You know, spinach is one of the worst. It's like you think you have all this and then in 2 seconds, little bit. So sauteed spinach, very quick. Baby spinach takes literally 3 minutes in the pan. So again, this is a fast, easy way to get in vegetables and to get a lot of food and nutrition in at an early hour of the day. Typically, I'm just cooking that spinach with pink Himalayan sea salt and crushed red pepper to give it some extra flavor. Other things that you can make ahead are things like overnight oats. Now, oats are something that I have a sensitivity to. They make my mouth itch, so I don't do overnight oats. I will eat quinoa flakes. I will eat rice farina, which is essentially cream of rice. So again, get creative with what your choices are. It has to be good for you to eat it. If it's not something that you enjoy, you're not going to like it. A lot of times I will look to foods that I like for inspiration. For example, if I am making quinoa flakes as a warm cereal for breakfast, I happen to enjoy baked goods a lot. And I was thinking about what I really liked a couple weeks ago, like blueberry muffins. So I'll put frozen organic blueberries in it. I'll put some brown sugar and I'll put some cinnamon. And that mimics the taste of a blueberry muffin. Another example, I really like Thanksgiving food. So the hash that I've been making lately has a bunch of food which to me feels like Thanksgiving. I throw in some dried cranberries, sweet potato, onion, mushroom. I've been putting greens and arugula in there. So I look to things that I already enjoy and figure out how to take those elements and turn them into something healthy. What other notes do I have about breakfast? So the other thing about breakfast too is don't limit yourself to something because you think it's a breakfast item or a lunch item or a dinner item. If you want to eat it, it's breakfast, right? We have breakfast for dinner all the time. So why do we need to trap ourselves, again, in this idea of these 3 square meals? It has to look like this. So if you're feeling like having a piece of chicken and broccoli for breakfast, go for it. There's nobody stopping you. So find what feels good and roll with it. Other things that I was thinking too are good are breakfast sandwiches. Those are really easy to prepare ahead of time. And if you're like me and you don't like eggs, you can have breakfast sandwiches with quinoa patties. You can have breakfast sandwiches with veggie burgers. In my mind, a breakfast sandwich is, I've eaten regular sandwiches at any time of day. So it's really just your idea of what would make something a breakfasty item. If you like a savory, if you like a sweet, right? So find those things that work for you and turn them into those healthier options. Other things that I do in terms of meal prep are make big batches of vegetables, for example, on the weekends. I will take a couple hours and just roast vegetables, put them in separate containers, and then throughout the week, I'm able to use them in different applications. So if I want roasted vegetables in a salad, if I want to make a Buddha bowl, for example, so a base of rice or quinoa with a bunch of vegetables and some dressing over it. So really, using things in multiple applications as well is very helpful when it comes to meal prep and cooking ahead.